Hello, everyone. Uh, let's just wait a couple of minutes to let people join in, then we'll get started. All right, I guess we can get started now. So let's start with the first problem for today. So this question is asking, which statement correctly describes how a landform is formed? All right, and as usual for the science STAR test, one of the best methods is to go answer choice by answer choice and eliminate all incorrect answers. Okay, all right. So the first one is saying a lake is formed when flowing water carves out the sides of a canyon. No, this answer wouldn't be correct because when water carves out the sides of a canyon, usually a V-shaped valley is formed, not a lake. So, because of that, we can cross out F. Answer choice G is saying a mountain range is formed when glaciers slowly move across the landscape. Well, mountains are broken down by glaciers, but they're not formed by glaciers, right? So they get eroded by glaciers, but glaciers themselves won't actually form mountains. So we can cross that out. Option choice H is saying a delta is formed at the mouth of a river when flowing water slows and deposits sediment. Now this sounds correct. This is like correctly describing how a delta would be formed at the mouth of a river. This is a key phrase right here. That's how I remember it. That's how deltas are formed. And then water slows and deposits sediment. So H is a possible answer choice. Let's check option choice J. A U-shaped valley is formed when winds pick up and move sediment away from the landscape. So actually, U-shaped valleys are formed by glaciers. See, mountains aren't formed by glaciers. U-shaped valleys are formed by glaciers and not by the wind. So because of that, answer choice J is incorrect, and we can circle H. That is our correct answer. I'll give a minute for any questions. Alright, looks like not getting any questions, so let's move on to our next question. As always, let's highlight the key information in the problem. Okay, so the diagram shows parts of a process that occurred over time. Which process did this diagram most likely represent? Okay, so what we want to know is which process does this diagram over here represent? Let's go one by one and see which answer choice represents it. A, the erosion of a coastline. Well, this diagram specifically is not actually showing erosion. It's actually showing deposition of sediment specifically, which is the removal of sediments. All right, and then answer choice B. Okay, so this one is saying the deposition of sediments. So the sediments are like the sand particles and the dirt particles that can be transported by the water. And this diagram is showing that the sediments were deposited over time and sank to the bottom of the water and are built up to the land. As you can see in the first picture, there's not much, and then more is being deposited, more and more until it reaches like the surface of the water. So let's go and first let's remove answer choice A. Okay. And we know that B is a possible answer choice. Answer choice C is saying the weathering of a mountain. Again, this diagram is not showing weathering, it's showing deposition, but weathering is the breaking of rocks into sediments, and then erosion is the removal of sediments. So these two are both incorrect. All right. Next is the formation of a sea. This is not the diagram is not showing the formation of a sea. As you can see, sediments are being deposited. There's not doesn't show anything about a sea being formed. So when you look at the answer choices like this, cross out easy ones like this one first, things that really don't make any sense. Then you could probably go on to the hard ones. All right. And as you know, we only have one answer choice left, and that is answer choice B, and that is the correct answer. I'll give 1 minute if there's any questions. All right, it looks like we don't have any questions as of now, so let's move on to the next problem. Okay, so question number 18. This question says, which of these environments could form coal if the area is buried for a long time? Okay, so this is the part, this is what the question is asking us. Let's go one by one. First, let's check option F. Okay, so this looks like kind of a desert type ecosystem, but it doesn't look like it has much plant for coal to form here. and it looks pretty dry. So I doubt coal could form in this type of ecosystem. So let's cross this answer choice out. Next is option choice G. Okay, this kind of looks like a mountainous region, but again, it doesn't look like it has any plants or any plant material for coal to form. So again, this answer choice would not work. Next, let's check answer choice H. Okay, so here it's showing a swampy type ecosystem, and it does have a lot of plants here, okay, which means that coal could possibly form here. Remember, in order for coal to form, you need like lots of plant material, all right? So this could be a possible answer choice. Next, let's check answer choice J. Okay, so this also looks like a desert-like kind of region. And again, I do not see any plants in this picture. So therefore, answer choice J is also incorrect, all right? And that leaves us with one last choice, which is H. And as you can see here, there are plenty of plants in order for coal to form. I'll give you guys a minute if you have any questions. All right, it looks like there aren't any questions. So I'm going to move on to the last and final question of the day. Okay, let's highlight the key information here. This photograph shows a fence between a sand dune and a road. What is most likely the main reason this fence was built? Okay, so we want to know the main reason that this fence was built, and let's take into account that it was built between a sand dune and a road. Alright, option choice F. This says to stop sand from sliding or blowing onto the road and covering it up. Okay, let's think about sand dunes. Sand dunes are shaped and they're moved by wind, which could move the sand onto the road. And this fence could possibly be helping to stop that sand from covering the road. So that could be the correct answer. Now let's check answer choice G. To prevent a delta from forming at the bottom of the dune. Well, deltas are formed by rivers, so this fence couldn't be preventing the formation of a delta. As you can see, here's a sand dune. There are no rivers or any water, if any, so that's definitely not correct. Option choice H. To keep water off the road. Well, this is a fence and it doesn't look like it could be used for the purpose of preventing water from going onto the road. As you can see, there's definitely gaps in the fence, so that wouldn't work. Then option choice J. To prevent marine animals from nesting on the dune. Well, this is definitely not correct. The fence isn't going to prevent animals like seagulls or any marine animals for that fact on resting on the road because it's just a fence, right? And seagulls can fly over the fence. So again, answers such as these are kind of obvious answers. Usually there's one of them on each question. Try to eliminate those first and focus on the other ones, all right? Again, to keep water off the road and to prevent a delta forming, both those answer choices have to do with like rivers and water, and this is a sand dune. And then this answer choice even has the keyword sand in it, all right? So that's really important. That kind of hints you to the right answer. So option choice F is the correct answer. And if there are any questions about this particular problem or any of the other ones I covered, please put them in the chat now. All right, guys. It doesn't look like there are any questions right now. So I think I'm gonna end the live stream. If you wanted to go and look over anything, please rewind the video, check how I solved the problems, and look how I explained them. And also, we also have a math live stream coming up. It's gonna be at 5 p.m. It's gonna go over real world problems and large number multiplication and division. So please come back at 5 p.m. and watch our math live stream. Thank you, everyone.